See, it all started basically with this one girl that came in contact with this weird alien crap and somehow made her into a Titan. This mysterious crap is still mysterious to this day. They say it's the source of all organic matter. And throughout time, people of a certain race inherited the power of a Titan until we get to the current events of the actual show that we see most of the time. It all came from this girl back here. Like, just to give you an example of there's been multiple top tier Titans in the past and stuff, and they all had their own different looks. Like, see, here's the thing. This one main super Titan back in the day, Ymir, she basically got her powers split up, and it created this little system known as the 9 Titans, the 9 top tier Titans, because you got your lower tier pure Titans that are just mindless beasts that don't know what they're doing, really. These are the ones that are not called one of the 9. One of the 9 are like basically the 9 strongest Titans, you know what I mean? But just from their sheer size, don't get it twisted, they're still ridiculously strong. I mean, when something's taller than buildings and stuff, or taller than trees, they can't help but be strong. But they're not necessarily one of the fragments of the main one. You know what I mean? They're subjects of Ymir, but they're not like one of the 9 main fragments of her actual power. Like, there was the original one. She died, went to this little spiritual place. She kind of remains in a spiritual form a little bit. She had daughters. The daughters had to pretty much eat her so the blood won't die out. It would be the same for the daughters of that. Granddaughter would eat their spine. Grandchildren die. Spines would be passed down from... Yeah, they was obsessed with ruling the world. So yeah, that's why the Titan power wouldn't die. But all of these Titans you see, including the one I'm going over today, the female Titan, the one I'm going over today, was a part of one super Titan, but their power got split up. Yeah. There was even other female Titans in the past, but at the end of the day, it all came from her, you know. But let's analyze her might. Since she is a Titan shifter, you know, she has her normal human mode, of course. Whatever she can do in her human form, she can do better in her Titan mode. It's scary to think about all these 9 Titans being one being at one point in history. That's probably why they didn't make a show around that part of the history. That would have been an overpowered Titan. Poor humans back in those days. But being one of the 9, she's one of those characters that have a lot of versatile abilities. She can harden her body like with some crystal-like substance looking crap to make her punches harder. Also increase her durability via concentration. She can put like armor around her hands for, you know, more durability for her hands, in turn making her strike harder. It seems to not matter which part of her body. She can even harden her elbows up. Swords are something that would usually be able to pierce the Titan, not when she's hardened. It just lets you know the level of durability increase that these same swords that could usually pierce them break when they harden. Example right here of a sword breaking when she hardens. They even compare it to the armored Titan. Somebody that naturally, for the most part, always has some sort of armor on him without necessarily having to concentrate on hardening. She has to concentrate on it. That's the difference. But she can still give herself a layer of armor, though. Oh, yeah, just a friendly reminder. She can use it to, like, make her own little dig holes or dig grips to basically climb walls that so happen to be taller than herself. She can surround herself up with a crystal-lined substance harder than steel. This stuff that she's surrounded by right here, there's implications. This is what is around the Titan's fist. So this stuff is durable, right? And if all that wasn't enough for you, well, even if you do manage to actually harm her body, guess what? She can heal absurdly fast. Like, due to her having knowledge about how to use her Titan abilities that she inherited, even when her eyes are cut out, being blinded, she can do stuff that they would not expect her to do, like focusing her power to heal faster. Because yes, it can grow back full eyeballs. Like, you look how she grew her eyeball back. And yeah, this character right here, for example, speculated on how she was able to do this. She concentrated on one eye so it healed faster. They were shocked that she was able to do that. Like, notice how her eye was still technically gone in this fight, but you can see the little smoky crap that's implied healing, quick healing. And they both end up going back, both her eyes. She can make other Titans, pure Titans, come near her and started coming in all directions. There's even some speculatory abilities we haven't necessarily seen her use in action, but, you know, during the later parts of the series, they explain how the female Titan has a really good perk, can take parts of the other Titans and manifest those Titan abilities, the things they made her eat, she says. So there's implications she was able to do stuff in the past by eating other parts of the other Titan's body to get more versatile abilities than I've already mentioned. We technically never seen the female Titan actually do this on screen, but we've seen other characters when they ingested other beings of spinal fluid. Like, they don't even have to eat the whole Titan up. Like, just inject a little bit of that Titan's spinal fluid. He was able to show some characteristics of a beast Titan. So one could argue there's a possibility the female Titan could do something like this too. We never seen it happen, but there's a possibility she could be able to grow wings and fly. Parts of the certain Titans, of the 9 Titans. Like literal flying Titans, you know, there's a possibility she might be able to do something like this. On top of all this, what if I told you she can actually fight, but all this fighting skills in her human mode, she can do this in her Titan mode, which makes her an even more scarier threat. This is probably a mixture of skill, strength, physicals. See these different holds. Even if you got a gun, she will quickly disarm you. I mean, she technically was a part of this like military group. They had to use like this gear to help them swing around like Spider-Man and stuff to latch on to buildings. without even necessarily relying on her Titan form. She seems to be skilled with this odium gear this military uses, along with using a blade. It's kind of hard to get an understanding of how strong she is in her base form. One thing's for certain is that her kicks can one-shot beings without Titan form. As cool as these swords are, she technically doesn't need these either to be a weapon, really. I mean, let's talk about her Titan strength, like just raw muscle. We've actually seen her lift up horses and toss them with her super strength. I mean, just with calculations, you can kind of get an idea of how strong she would have to be just from her sheer size. I mean, you know, she's a normal sized human like this, but she can transform into a super tall giant Titan, basically. If we take the official heights and weights seriously, we can kind of get an estimation on how strong she would have to be as a Titan form as default. Like, if we take seriously that she's 5'2" and 119 pounds in human form, what is her Titan form if we just scale her weight upward? And if you were to take this scan serious of when she first appeared, of course, they said she was a 14-meter class Titan, aka about 46 feet. Based on all this information, she would have to be a bare minimum weight of over 40 tons, just from sheer size alone. But there's evidence that they're actually stronger with their sizes. But as a bare minimum, we technically know she can at least lift her weight or move around at this weight. It doesn't seem to be an exaggeration. She has absurd grip strength. Look what she does to humans. You know, based on all this information, she should technically be able to lift 40 tons, basically proving in modern times she would be able to lift a tank up if she wanted to in her Titan form. This shouldn't be unbelievable, considering she's one of the 9 strongest Titans, and we've seen her like literally slugfest over and over again with the Attack Titan, Eren, the host of the Attack Titan at the time. And when it comes to raw muscle, implying that these 2 Titans are somewhere in the same ballpark of raw strength with one another when it comes to muscle strength. So this can kind of give you more of an idea of her strength. We've actually seen her muscles clash, and she can break the grip of the Attack Titan's raw muscle. This is important when you realize how strong the Attack Titan is she just did this to. This same being can lift boulders that are like dang near the same size as actual Titans, guys. You know, boulders are really dense. We've seen other previous Titans that have this Titan in the past lift ships. Stuff like this, the female Titan should also be able to do. We've never actually seen her do this, but like based on how she's clashing muscle with this being, she should be able to do something similar like this. Just to give you a perspective on how big this boulder is, like it literally looks like the size of an actual Titan height. Of course, there's no official weight of this boulder, but based on math and stuff we know in real life, we assume this is anything like a real boulder. A 40-foot tall and wide boulder would approximately be over 5,000 of tons, like over thousands of tons, guys. Like, yeah, this calculation says 7,000 tons. But yeah, lowballing the heck out of this. This is a bare minimum 1,000 tons or more, 4,000, 3,000 tons. Proving that 40 tons isn't their limit just because that's their height. They're actually stronger than their weight. They lift more than their weight. This should apply for the female Titan too. She's able to clash muscles with the Attack Titan. Like, if she was thousands of times weaker, trust me, the fights wouldn't be this way. They're meant to be somewhere in the same ballpark of strength. Like their muscles being entangled with each other. You get the idea. So with all this in mind, she can basically lift over 4,000 tons, being in the same ballpark with Eren and Attack Titan, battling them over and over again. You know, like we've seen this big old that she had. Like, look how large it is compared to her Titan body. She was a helpful aid along with others to help hold it back. Something this big, even though it was a team effort though. I mean, when you add all this strength that I pretty much proved already, when you add on to the fact she's a fighter, what would the weight of her swings be like? I mean, we've seen examples of the weight of her swings, her kicks, her stomps. She can do major damage to you, even if she's not necessarily hitting you with a direct hit. Like, for example, knock this guy off his horse without a direct hit, like the shockwave hit him, to show the weight of her swings. Look how she can launch Titans that are similar weight to herself in the air with a stomp or just a kick. Like, it lets you know that, yeah, she can definitely hit or launch over 40 tons. She can obviously stomp through bricks. I mean, that should be like a no-duh. I mean, if she can lift with over thousands of tons of force, she's a trained fighter. She more than likely can hit with harder force. Most fighters in real life can hit harder than what they can lift. There's literally fighters in real life that are 150 pounds that can punch with 600 pounds of force. You know what I mean? So what do you think her strikes or strength like this would do to buildings, or her strikes would do to buildings, if she can hit with over 4,000 tons of force? Or kick with that kind of force. Look what she does to towers like this. Look what she does to this building just by running her fingers through it. Look how large she is compared to buildings. If you're a normal human, you're going to get one shot. Look what she does to the size of buildings with just her strikes. And all this strikes is just blunt strength. I'm not even talking about when she actually hardens. This makes the strikes even worse. Her punches can quake castles or buildings. It's even worse with this. It's the same stuff, but even worse, her strikes just are that heavy. I mean, guys, this is the same Titan that his body could withstand, supporting the weight of thousands of tons. And with hardening and everything put together, she can literally kick through his face like this. The same being that can support thousands of tons. Her kick can do this to such a being. Look at this madness. She literally kicked and sliced through this same being's leg with her kicking power. And it's the same with his arm. Yeah, she can just hit hard. In cases like this, how she can sling beings like missiles. As you can see, she's constantly durable enough to withstand strikes from beings that have similar strength to her. I mean, if I'm being honest, her base form, just transforming into her Titan form, one could say this could be like a form of energy projection, because just from the destruction of her transforming can do some crazy damage. Look at the radius of her transformation. Like, you know how a block has multiple buildings in it? Like, she would technically be able to do that via just transforming based on the radius of her explosion. Do you remember that Titan that specializes in durability? Like, he's always armored up most of the time, like the armored Titan. Like, there's been certain characters that can break through this armor with their hardening ability. I don't see no reason why the female Titan couldn't do this too. I mean, we've seen her battle the Attack Titan. The Attack Titans with hardening did this to the Armored Titan, cracking through his armor with his punches via hardening. Just to give you a visual of these transformations, like the Armored Titan can survive nuclear-looking type of mini nuclear explosion, stuff like this, for example. Like these little mini nuclear explosions that we be seeing, it's implied that the Armored Titan can survive ridiculous explosions like this. So let you know how armored this guy is. And Eren, the main character, Attack Titan, and Annie with their hardening can pierce this guy's armor. So it just lets you know how hard these guys can hit, even though he can withstand with ridiculous colossal Titan type of explosions that are wider than multiple city blocks. Like, yeah, these type of explosions can probably level certain sized mountains if we're being honest. Look how deep this crater is. It wasn't just a statement, the Armored Titan really did survive that explosion. Now that you really understand how durable the Armored Titan is, when you see characters like Eren do this with their hardening, these type of occasions just kind of let you get respect for the female Titan too. We literally seen her fight Eren at the Attack Titan that's doing this multiple times. She can do the same techniques he can do. She should be able to do this too when it comes to cracking the armor with the hardening ability. So not only can the weight of her swings or strikes feel worse than the weight of a building landing on your face, like her strikes would feel worse than something this heavy landing on your face, but to make it even worse, it would technically feel worse than multiple buildings, huge buildings landing on your face. One can even argue based on the fact that she can punch through the armor, just like how Eren technically should. She should be able to do that too, being able to punch through the armor of beings that can withstand many nuclear looking type of energy explosion type radiuses. Her hits will feel worse than a couple city blocks landing on your face, or yeah, thousands of tons and thousands of tons. It makes sense. She already proved she can lift thousands of tons. So maybe smaller mountains, she can chip pieces of them all. Like if she was to punch one, maybe like a big chunk of it up here would break apart, you know? Like, yeah, there's been, like, you know, the current Armored Titan, but there's been other Armored Titans in the past. Annie, the female Titan, pretty much proved her strikes can damage Armored Titan level beings, armoring her leg up, splitting them to show how heavy her swings are. So beings that have the armor to protect them from miniature nuclear-like looking energy projective type of explosives, her kicks or strikes can do severe damage, split these type of beings that have this kind of durability, even if they're Armored Titans from the past. You know, the weight of her swings technically should be able to cause a miniature earthquake within a certain circumference or vicinity. I don't believe she's up there muscle-wise or physically muscle-wise with a colossal Titan though, because we saw what happened when a Titan similar size to Annie, or the female Titan similar size to her. We seen what happened to him to show the power gap. Like, there's definitely a gap. It got knocked out from this. So I wouldn't say she's as strong as a colossal Titan, but when it comes to her speed, it's kind of hard to understand her true limits of her speed. We just know that she's faster than normal humans, but by what extent, it's kind of hard to measure. If you're able to run at 10 miles per hour at a human size or something, right, and you was to keep that same speed, but just get bigger, you would automatically be faster because your steps would be a lot larger. That's assuming she doesn't slow down at all. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say she has to be above superhuman. If she's 6 times taller than any human, you know what I mean, her steps would have to be a lot bigger, you know? Someone that can hit with thousands of tons of force, it's no wonder humans just get one shot. She's definitely somebody you don't want to be in the receiving end of her kicks. But what do you guys think? But before I get going, I gotta say thank you all for the support. It helps out a lot. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.